evening, CCIPA friends. Gong Hei Fat Chai. Happy Chinese New Year of Ox. Today is called Lantern Festival, the 15th day of the first month in the lunar calendar. It marks the final day of the traditional Chinese New Year celebrations. The lanterns symbolize the people letting go with the past selves and welcoming the fresh one. To release a sky lantern, many people believe that they are symbolic of problems and worries floating away and praying for a bright and fruitful coming year.
Many of you would know it's not going to be a full-on party if we don't have the geomancer and philosopher, Master Paul Ing, to give us his prediction of the year. And for this year of the ox, he's here to give us his predictions. Welcome, Master Ing.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, everybody, for having me. Happy New Year. Was everybody healthy and wealthy for the year 2021? My name is Master Paul Ing. I'm a professional geomancer or Feng Shui master. Okay. I've been doing my work since 1993, so this is 28th year. Time flies by. And it's always good to be in your event year after year. How many years have I been in your event? Whoever got a good memory? Anthony should know. Is Anthony here? Anthony? I could see him.
He's somewhere.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
How many events have I attended?
Well, probably around 10. 10
Wow.
years.
Okay, time flies by.
Yeah.
Well, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very brief summary of 2020 and lead you right into 2021. So we have a kind of logical continuity. Now, the year 2020, as we all know it, is probably the most terrible year in our whole lifetime. Okay, even though some people make a lot of money, most people lose a lot of money, but it's a year of change. The reason for that was it happened to be in the life cycle of 8, and the year 2020 happened to be a cycle of 7. So whenever you confront the number 7 within the 8 cycle, that means it's a receding and warring number. That already led to disasters in 2020. Second, 2020 is extreme yang metal and extreme yin water. When you have two extremities mixed together, it also means disasters. But fortunately enough, this kind of thing happens only once every 60 years. That means every 60 years of 2020, without exceptions, is always a bad year. Okay, give you a flash trace back in 1960, 60 years before now. China suffered from one of the worst famine in history. So much hunger. A lot of people died, and a lot of people become orphans. Little kids became orphans, and they were sent to Inner Mongolia to be raised. So that's a generation of what we call the national children, the nation's children. Okay, and also 17 countries in Africa went independent, creating tons of wars and battles worldwide. And 60 years before that, 1900, European, Japan, and U.S. countries, 8 countries altogether, invaded Beijing and robbed away a lot of treasures from the Beijing Forbidden City. Okay, so that was 1900. And 1840 was a time where the Opium War broke out and China lost to England. And England took over Hong Kong as a colony for the next over 100 years. Okay, those are the 3 major 60-year events that we are aware of. Okay, now the second thing is what happened to 2020. In one way, we have to thank this virus, because with the virus, I guarantee Mr. Trump would create a 3rd World War. But because of virus, that got stopped in the midway. Okay, now the virus thing also stopped the First World War. For those people who didn't realize it, in 1918, okay, the Spanish flu hit Europe big time. Over 20 million people died, literally. And then even Germany, the invader, got affected by the Spanish flu. So because of it, they ended First World War abruptly. So that means without the Spanish flu, the war would have carried on much longer. And same for 2020. The flu actually gave mankind a lesson, but majority of mankind unfortunately have not learned it because of the United States. Because this flu was supposed to unite people together, to join forces together to create a vaccine internationally. But because of politics, that didn't get to happen. And because of politics, Canada is not immune. Imagine if without politics, Canada would have cooperated with other countries, China, Europe, etc. The whole nation would have been okay by now, would not have dragged on. But politics played a role to it, and the whole mankind will learn from it. The third thing, how did this happen? How did the virus happen? It did not happen from any country. In my calculation, I actually predicted that back in July 2019, that 2020 would be hit by 3 major problems: lung and chest problems, air transmitted illnesses or germs, and also mental illnesses. And looks like all 3 things happen in 2020. It's all meant to be. Now, so this virus actually is a result of the North ice cap and the South ice cap melting. So virus going through millions of years transmutation got liberated from the ice. And that's why countries in the northmost and southmost regions got hurt the most, such as Russia, South Africa, and Argentina, because they are closest to the ice caps. And one more thing was between 2019 and 2010, the ocean hole in the atmosphere got the biggest. So this extra space, energy, and the virus combined together to form the COVID. Okay, when is it going to be under control? I would say the real cutover point, the first big sign would be May. May is a lucky month for 2021. But the real control point is August the 8th. So by August 8th this year, life should be 90% back to normal, at least. So that's something we can look forward to. So 2021 is not governed by the number 7 anymore. Instead, it's governed by the number 6. 6 is a transition number and also a wealth number. So that means the economy of the world will improve quite a bit. Big improvement. Mankind hopefully have learned a lesson from last year. So 3 kinds of businesses will do marvelous: earth, metal, water. These are terrible in 2020, but it's reversing. Okay, so metal, water were the worst in last year, 2020, because metal are automobiles. Water will be travel. So travel and cars did poorly last year, or literally went dead. So this year, automobiles will come back big time alive. But the number 1 leading sign is mobilities, and mobility will lead to real estate. So the real business that will do marvelous in 2021, number 1 will be real estate. Now, metal and water had to do with insurance. So this is also a huge year for insurance to grow. So your line of work will do very well in 2021 as well. And then logistics will be marvelous. A lot of cars, especially electric cars, will do well. So if you have money to invest, you should consider investing something like the electric cars, such as NIO from China, NIO. The stocks are going to catch a clouds big time. Okay, Tesla will do well too, but it's already so high, so the profit margin will be limited unless you have lots of money. So that's on the metal water side. Wood will still suffer a lot this year. So wood belongs to the clothing industry. So you're going to see a lot of big names going to go under or going to be merged together. So clothing has to go through a very tough 2021. And fire is more interesting, half good, half bad. So fire had to do with education and high tech. So we're going to see a lot of breakthroughs in high tech, but a lot of arguments. Patent arguments, copyright arguments, money arguments, taxation arguments, all these are going to be big in 2021. So we are already seeing the tip of the iceberg, such as the Facebook and Google affair in Australia. That kind of affair would also affect Canada in any time. So we're going to see these big names are going to pay for their news section on other things as well. And a lot of controversies will continue this year. Controversies with the 5G, 6G matter is going to be interesting. That's another thing when politics got into technology. It also created a huge problem. Otherwise, by now, the entire country, Canada, would be on 5G. But because the government is so hung up by politics, it didn't go ahead with China. And China is 5G everywhere. And China is already on the way to 6G by this moment. Okay, it's a phenomenon. Okay, so now, so that's about the major part of businesses. As the centers are concerned, the wealth center for 2021 is both the West and the South. That means USA financially, believe it or not, is having a big comeback this year. So Biden is going to bring good economics back to USA. And the south part will be southern countries, so Australia would also turn around a bit. But the major wealth center is China. China contains the number 6. The 6 number had to do with mobility as the money. So that means China's transportation sector is going to really go way beyond the clouds. Transportation, it would include the outer space explorations and also super speed trains. You're going to see trains in China that can go as fast as 800 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers per hour, faster than the normal jet planes because of the technology. And that's going to happen in 2021. So keep an eye on it. Now, so what about Canada? Canada occupies the number 2. Number 2 is a double-edged sword. On the negative side, 2 means sickness. On the positive side, 2 means earth or means real estate. So the one particular sector that's going to help Canada would be the real estate sector. So in my calculations, between 2021, 2, and 3, a lot of real estate, especially in GTA area, may go up as much as 50%, 50, or even more, with mainly for those below $2 million range. Those above $2 million or $3 million range would be slower. So that means the gap between the high point and low point will be getting closer. And a lot of builders took my advice and really building. Okay, I'm already helping Minto, Kyle Moore, and City Park Homes to develop 3 major projects, all in Markham. Now, if we look at the fate of Toronto, now Toronto occupies the number 5 yellow. 5 yellow is also a double-edged sword. On the negative side is disasters, a lot of domestic problems, a lot of gun shootings. That's all on the negative side. Accidents, okay, that's on the negative side. But on the positive side, 5 yellow is very earthy. So that means Toronto's real estate is going to really go through the roof, going to do marvelous. Okay, so now which parts of Toronto would do particularly well? Richmond Hill, okay, and also Markham, and central or Toronto, which is Willowdale, and downtown Toronto toward the second part of the year would be having a comeback. Now, because last year people could not move, a lot of rentals will suffer, so the condo market in downtown Toronto suffered quite a bit last year. But by the second half of this year, they may come back big time. So this is a unique opportunity for investments. Okay, now as the stock markets are concerned, big highs, big lows. So if you don't have a deep pocket, you better not touch anything to do with oil, gold, or Bitcoin. There would be a lot of people making money and also going bankrupt because of Bitcoin. So be very careful about these untrue investments, fake investments. People manipulate it. So that's a big picture. And the last word for this year, 2021, unfortunately, is also a year of lots of natural disasters. You will see a lot. This could be a record year of earthquakes also. Okay, and a few weeks ago I predicted earthquake in eastern area, which is Japan, and unfortunately 2 days after I said it, that earthquake happened. More earthquakes in South Pacific Ocean, and even a possible big earthquake in Sichuan in China once again. So all these are going to happen. So if you are in the insurance business, when you insure houses, make sure these houses are not in the earthquake zones. Now, very quickly, I'm going to go through the 12 signs because New Year's not year without talking about the signs. So this is a year of metal ox. Now, for those people born in the year of the ox, it also means good and bad. Good is because earth and earth good, and this is an earth year. So for the ox people, if they are in the businesses to do with machinery, with metals, with cars, with real estate, they should do very well. But because of the conflict between the ox, so ox people should rest more, okay, exercise more, and then look after their health better. Don't take risks. And also no gambling for the ox people. Now the tiger people are into a double sign, opposite signs actually. One sign is a logical sign, the other sign is spiritual sign. So for the tiger people, if they are in an analytical world such as high-tech, accounting, or research field, they will do very well. But at the same time, if they are in the spiritual business, such as a priest, okay, or speaker, or philosopher, the tiger will do also very well. But as relations are concerned, not too dominant, just like the ox. Okay, ox and tiger tend to be a little bit like lonely. They like to be left alone for this year. Now, the opposite one would be the rabbit, because this is a very romantic year for the rabbit people. So if the rabbit people are in the business to do with sales and marketing, to do with people, okay, they will do marvelous. If they are movie stars or they're singers, congratulations. So the key word for the rabbit friends, people, people, people. Go out and party and try to mix with people. Now, the dragon people have a bit of conflict with the ox sign. It's actually a blinking sign. So if you are born in the year of the dragon, you are in the demolition business, you are in the excavation business, okay, or you're in the business dealing with breaking deadlocks between unions and the capitalists, whatever they are. So in a business to do with breaking, separating things. And if you're a dragon, you will do well. If you are not in that kind of business, so be careful about handling sharp objects, driving, because you tend to break things easily. Okay, if your boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife tend to wash dishes and happen to be dragon, better get it off the sink. Keep breaking these bowls and dishes. Okay, so that's about the dragon. So now the next one is the fourth best sign of the 12 signs. That's a snake. Now snake is into money and travel. So if you are a tradesman, you're doing international trade, or you're sales and marketing, or you're an investor, you play stock markets. And if you happen to be born year of snake, you should do marvelous this year. So mobility, investments, and money making, three things go hand in hand with our snake friends. Okay, I don't know who here are snakes, so try to share your new make wealth with us. Okay. Now the next one is the horse. The horse and the ox had a interesting relation breaking sign. So if you are born in the horse, be careful about people relations. You tend to argue or fight with the one close to you. Okay, so take it easy, be careful. However, if you're a horse person, you're in the business dealing with people issues, trying to break conflicts, because you yourself are experienced this year. So you would be a good candidate to do that. But other than that, when you're dealing with people, listen more and talk less and argue less if you're born in a horse. So, but the horse are also into a bit of a blood sign too. So if you're a surgeon or dealing with blood, you should also do well. Otherwise, drive carefully. You tend to be a bit impatient this year. Now, the sixth sign is a sheep. Why do we call the sixth conflict sign sheep? Now, if you draw the 12 signs in a big circle, the ox and the sheep are exactly opposite, and the separation is 6 signs. So this kind of conflict we sometimes call the sixth conflict. Now, when the sheep is in the sixth conflict situation, that means they will tend to lose money. So they better not gamble, stay away from the stock market, okay, be contented. But because of conflict, they better shift around a lot, so they should travel more. So that means if you're born in a ship, but you're in the travel sector, you're in logistics, you actually can do very well. But since you need to spend money, so buy something for your home, for your spouse, for your close friends, whoever that may be. Okay, make the other party happy, then money would be well spent instead of wasted. But going to casinos, better not if you're the sheep. The next sign is the monkeys. Monkeys are into power, authority, and mobilities too. So if you're born in the year of monkey, you're employed by someone, this could be a year you get promoted. Okay? But the monkey tend to be a little bit self-contained. So it like to do research and try to study on things. So if the monkey is into that kind of business, they will also do very well as a researcher. Now, the roosters are the #1 best sign this year because the roosters and the ox form a true golden connection. That means the controlling year can help the rooster a lot of opportunities. Financially sound, relationally sound, and also healthy, but a little prone to small accidents too because they are rushing too much. But if you have a lot of dreams you couldn't get done last year, this is a year for your dreams to come true. And if you own a business, try to expand it. If you're a rooster, do it. You'll be very good with people and with making money this year. Now, the dog people had a bit of legal conflict with the ox. But because the legal sign of the dog, if you are a law enforcer, you're police, you're a politician, you're a soldier, you're dealing with law enforcement, so you'll do very well. For the common folks, you better drive carefully. Be careful about those tickets. Don't forget the government is broke. They are going to give out traffic tickets like you've never seen before. Okay, so be careful when you're driving. Or when you do your work, make sure it's law-abiding. Don't do anything illegal. If you're a dog, you can get caught more easily. So that's my advice to it. Okay. Now, the pigs are the #4 best sign this year. Okay, almost as good as a snake. But the pigs are into the most mobile sign of the 12 signs. So if you're born in the year of pig, and when this COVID thing is lifted, okay, you should resume your traveling. The more you travel, the more money you make. And also the pig is associated with the reputation sign. So if you're a famous pig, okay, and you do something that can make yourself famous, the more famous you are, the more money you can make. So mobilities and money go hand in hand with the pig. The pig and the ox somewhat connect as well. So the pigs would also get good luck from the sign. Now, the last sign is the second best sign of the 12 signs. That's a rat. The rat and the ox form a silver connection. Very good people relations. So if you're in the business dealing with people, or if you're single and ready to get married, and is your rat, this is the best year to get married or to have children. So if you're in the line of work in marketing and sales, you're in the line of work dealing with people, and you're a rat person, congratulations. You will do very well. Okay, with that, then I'll conclude the 12 signs. And by the way, this is the book I wrote for the new year. Okay, with a special section on the back, inspirations from COVID. Okay, so I have a pile of this at my home. If you know my address, you can feel free to pick it up at my door. So just pick it up from the bucket. Okay, put a pile of books there. Okay, And I want to thank you, everyone and everybody, for having me. And I wish everybody healthy and also be happy and make a lot of money this year. Congratulations and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Paul.
Master Ing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for gracing us once again with your presence and prediction. I took notes. I think you're all thinking the same as me with all the money we're going to make in our industry, and we know where to invest, okay? Electrical cars and real estate.